Today I would like to talk about the monad. The monad. When we are told to be the monad that we are, what is this monad they're talking about? A definition of a monad is this one. A monad is a monarchy with nothing above it. With nothing above it. It is he who exists as God and Father of everything, the invisible one, who is above everything, who exists as incorruption, which is in pure light, into which no eye can look. He is the invisible spirit, of whom it is not right to think of him as God, as a God or something similar, for he is more than a God, since there is nothing above him. Therefore, no one lords it over him. He does not exist in something inferior to him, since everything exists within him. For it is he who establishes himself. He is eternal, since he does not need anything, for he is in total perfection. That is what a monad is. On that description or definition, we find that a monad defines what God is. But still, there are three types of monads. There's the head monad, there is the spirit monad, and there is the soul monad. The head monad is what God is. Then there is the spirit monad, which is what we are as humans. And then there is the soul monad, which is the plants and the animals. And before I talk about the three types of monads, there is something which we have to know. That for this, what we call as monad, it is indivisible. And this causes a little bit of problems, because anything that is tangible, anything that is physical or material is divisible. This one is indivisible. And anything that is tangible or physical or material is divisible. Therefore, the monad does not occupy any space. It is not material or touchable or physical. And based on this reality is not material or physical, because monads are said to be just the building blocks of the reality. They are the constituents of the reality. Monads are the constituents. They are the building blocks of reality. And we can see our reality is of material. Like we can touch it, we can feel it. But the true sense is that it does not exist. Because a monad, as we said, that the monad is the building block, or they are the building blocks, and they are the constituents of the reality. They are the constituents of the reality. They are one with the reality, meaning that a monad cannot create anything physical. Therefore, everything physical does not exist, because a monad is that reality. Monad is part of that reality, is a building block of that reality, which means that the things which we interact with, things and objects that we interact with in our daily lives and that are physical do not exist. And this could seem quite extreme, and interact with tangible things that are material, that are physical. But to understand further is to coming to the understanding that you, as a monad, you cannot create anything, because you are part of everything. And I said, I said initially, there are three types of monads. The supreme monad, which is God. Spirit monad, which is us. Plants and animals are soul monads. Monads cannot create, because they are already one with everything. When we are told to be the monad that we are, it means that we have to transcend the physicality. Being a monad is not to come to the realization that you are a monad. You have to let things of physicality fall, because monads don't create physical things. They are part with them. And actually, that is who we are. That is what human is. Human is spirit. Is the perfect image of the likeness. Man is spirit. That is who we are. That is the monad we are. We are spirit. And whatever we are experiencing in physicality, we are just but experiencing who we are. What we call as physicality, it is called physicality or material or of carnal, because we are only perceiving. We are only perceiving our own vibrations outward of us, as within, so without. The vibrations within us are reflected to us outward, and they are being picked by the 5 antennas in our body, which are the 5 physical senses. No one has experienced the physical reality outside of the 5 physical senses. We are just experiencing the exact vibrations of who we are outside here. And circumstances could be overwhelming sometimes outward of us, like they seem crazy and negative. But we fail to understand that all the turmoils outside, all the chaos we are experiencing outside of us, they are but the turmoils within us. And these turmoils within us, this is what happens. These turmoils within us, which are creating chaos to our outward reality, the turmoils are as the results of how we have been told what to think of what we are, the truth of existence, and the truth of creation is. We are given what to think of even who the monad we are. We are told even to such extremes that when we go to God with prayers, we go with words like, I'm not worthy. Who said that humanity is not worthy before God? Who said humanity is not worthy before God? Because to God, He sees everything as God. He cannot see anything apart from itself, because God is the source of everything. Nothing exists outside of God. There's nothing above God. Everything is within God. So He has no choice but to know that this is from me. Ideas planted to us, we are told what to think, because everything in our life is what we have been taught to be what they are. Everything, every little thing. A pen became a pen because somebody else said, this is a pen and this is a pencil. That is a bottle and that is a table. That is a car and that is a house. No one takes time to think. Everything we know to the religious and deeper spiritual aspects, it has to have come from somebody else. That is where we are falling short. That is where our divine monadship is falling off. Because all what we seek, all answers that we seek are within us. Somebody else comes outside with his concept. Let me tell you, they extracted that concept from the same consciousness you are. If Nikola Tesla extracted this and that from consciousness, so can you. There is only one consciousness. There is only one consciousness. And all the inventions, all the discoveries, everyone is getting them from the same consciousness. If someone comes up with his highest doctrine of spirituality or religion, they extracted it from their consciousness, from this one consciousness which you are. You can also extract higher concepts above those, because this journey is never ending. It's called infinite. God is ever knowing. Something that is ever knowing is ever moving at a speed of light. Light is what God is. Ours is to seek after it, chasing after it as it moves. Therefore, there is no concept which is final. When today you say you've got God here, to immediately you think of creating a concept around Him, there He has gone. Ever expanding, ever knowing. What you put on your path becomes the path. Anything you put on your path becomes your path. Beware. Any concept you put on your path, that concept becomes your path. Because all concepts outside of us, no matter how grand they could be, no matter how magnificent they could be, no matter how grand they could be, how magnificent they could be, how holy they could be, they should only be taken as catalysts to trigger that remembrance. All what you need is within you to trigger that remembrance. All what you need is within you. We are just in the state of forgetfulness. Concepts should be catalysts to trigger our remembrance back to who we are, to the monad who we are. Do not take any concept from outside of yourself to be the final truth. There is only one truth, and it resides within yourself. All truths outside of yourself are truths. The grander truth resides within yourself. And you need no doctrine, no education. You need no religion, no Messiah, no prophet. You need nothing to connect with that truth within yourself. It doesn't need even you to have a name. That is how worthy you are. It does not need any earthly concept or any earthly identity or idea to connect to the truth. It just needs you to be. When God says be still and know, it is be still and know. And in that knowing, in that stillness, should not be attached to any earthly concept or doctrines or systems. It is the knowing, which is infinite. Just the knowing, not attached to any earthly concept. Just the knowing. This thing is ever expanding. Immediately you halt your knowing, you are stagnated. Immediately you identify the knowing with something or a concept, you are stuck. You are already stuck. Immediately you attach the knowing to a concept. Let me tell you, you have put a concept on your path, and that concept becomes your path. God has moved. There he is going, and you are here stagnated. Do not take anything from outside of your skin as the final truth. Use them as catalysts. Do not look down upon yourself. You are the monad, one with God and divine. Very, very, very perfect the way you are. God loves you this way you are. You don't have to do anything. He loves you the way you are. You are the perfect manifestation of God himself. Therefore, you are perfect, beautiful and wonderful made. You need to have this knowing, and you have to walk with the understanding and the realization that you are one with the Father. The same way Jesus proclaimed that I and the Father are one. By himself, Jesus, he could do nothing. But becoming one with the Father, becoming one with the Christ. Because the whole story in the Bible about Jesus was not about Jesus, but it was about the Christ in Jesus. It is the Christ that became Jesus. It's not Jesus who became the Christ. Because this Christ is the Spirit of God, is the monad who you are. The Christ is within you. Jesus promised us guys, like, hey, these works that I do, you guys can do greater. He promised us this because he knew that the same Christ within him dwells and resides within you. You are the monad. You are the kingdom. One with the kingdom. You are the whole kingdom and one with the kingdom. It just takes the knowing to experience God. It takes nothing else. Just the knowing that you are. Just the knowing that you are. You are what? Just you are. Do not attach it to any earthly concept. It takes the knowing and proclaiming this knowing to become you. And everything changes.